Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Rick Henry here in Columbia for Palmetto Sports Daily, joined today by Kevin Bilodeau in Charleston and Carmine Jamay in Greenville. And we'll start today with some breaking news concerning Sindarius Thornwell. Thornwell is a former Gamecock basketball player, led the team to their one and only appearance in the Final Four in 2017. Haven't heard a lot about him lately, but right now, he's got some legal problems to deal with. He's been arrested and charged with domestic violence. The Richland County Sheriff's Department said Thornwell was taken into custody today. He's charged with second-degree domestic violence and unlawful conduct toward a child. According to deputies, Thornwell, the Richland County Sheriff's Department said the charges are linked to an incident on August 12th. The victim reportedly told deputies that Thornwell assaulted her while she was holding a child after an argument. The victim also claimed Thornwell threw a cup of water at them and struck them in the back of the head. According to deputies, Thornwell denied hitting the victim, but did admit to throwing a cup of water. The Richland County Sheriff's Department said investigators interviewed the victim and were able to corroborate their claims. He was arrested today, and at the recording of our show today, he was awaiting a bond hearing. And we will keep you updated on any further news concerning Sindarius Thornwell. But right now we're going to get into football. Clemson looking to bounce back after their loss to LSU on Saturday night. And they've got Troy up next. Carmine, the Tigers held their press conference today. What's the mood there at the Clemson camp?
Yeah, Rick, this is my third football season covering the Clemson Tigers team, and this was probably the most animated and hyped up I've seen Coach Dabo Swinney, which is saying a lot. Given that he's usually amped up and animated every single press conference. You never know what he's going to say. Usually he's entertaining and informative as well, but he was really juiced up today. So let's take a look here at his thoughts about scheduling such a tough opponent right out of the gate, because this is the third time in a row that Clemson has lost a season opener. The 3-touchdown loss at Duke 2 seasons ago, the thumping by 31 points in Atlanta to number 1 ranked Georgia, and now losing by a touchdown hosting 9th ranked LSU. Let's take a look at Coach Swinney's mindset on scheduling such a big dog right out of the gate.
But when you have a game like that right out of the gate, as opposed to, again, we just won 50-3, and everybody's kumbaya and we think we're great. Hey, you realize real quick the margin for error is really small, and it is a few plays. And then dudes got to be dudes, man. I mean, if Mahomes don't play well, they ain't winning. Down the last play, right out of the gate. It's like getting the final exam day one of class. They made a 65, we made a 58. Neither one of us were great. But the good news is we got the questions to the test now. And we're going to get it again later on. So it's on us to make sure we're ready. Everybody can just start throwing mud now. Just bring it on. Say we suck again. Tell everybody we suck. Coaches suck. Cage stinks. Y'all start writing that again. Bring that on.
All right, so Coach Dabo Swinney right there, more amped up than usual, but it was very entertaining. And I'll tell you what, airing that live press conference here on Fox Carolina at 11 a.m. every Tuesday is one of the best content decisions we've made, because it's an hour straight of entertainment and information for Coach Swinney. But you heard him grading the matchup there. He said 65 grade for LSU, which I think would be right around failing. I'm not sure what it is with all the AP classes these days in high school. Clemson failing grade at 58. But we also heard from LSU head coach Brian Kelly in his weekly press conference responding to Dabo's assessment. And get ready for this pretty fiery response from LSU head coach Brian Kelly.
We dominated him in the second half. So he's either a really good grader for, giving himself a 58, or he's a really hard grader on us, or he didn't see the second half, which that might be the case. He might not have wanted to see the second half. So, again, look, this is all like, past
So quite the response there from Brian Kelly, just judging off your guys' facial reactions. Kelly probably a little bit salty, of course, because this was his first opening game win to start any of his seasons at LSU. One of the biggest wins of his career ever. And of course, Clemson's been a thorn in the side of Notre Dame for years when Brian Kelly was the Notre Dame head coach. Clemson quite a bit more success. I know, we cover them, obviously, being in the state and being in the upstate, 2 national championships since Brian Kelly has been a head coach in college football. But Kevin, I saw your facial reaction. What do you think about this back and forth? Dabo obviously doesn't have a chance to respond, but pretty fiery coming out of this game.
Well, first off, Carmine, going by your grading, 65 is passing. Trust, that's from someone who knows very, very well that 65 is just barely passing, because if you look at my transcripts, there was a lot of those coming up in high school. But, Brian Kelly has a right to be a little upset about this. His team went out and, like you said, he dominated Clemson in that second half. And to say that Clemson was just a little bit worse, even though it did come down to that final possession, I didn't really think Clemson had a shot once LSU got rolling in the second half. So, yeah, I understand why Kelly's a little salty. It's good to see Dabo fired up. I think he's right in that I would rather have a game like this LSU game and take a loss there and be able to build off that than go up and beat some 1AA team and win by 50 points and now get ready to head off into conference play in a couple weeks. I think this is the right way for him to go, Rick.
I'm rather amused. I don't know if I've ever seen two coaches, especially coaches who aren't rivals that play each other, taking shots, throwing shade after the game. I thought it was great entertainment. But, hey, if I'm Brian Kelly, I'm just going to be concerned about the rest of the season and making sure he doesn't have any slip-ups. And as for Dabo, sure, that's typical Dabo. Hey, always being smothered in the sunshine. And, hey, he has to feel pretty good because they lost to a top 10 team. It was a close game. And with the ACC schedule, hey, the polls came out today. They're still in the top 10, ranked number 8, and they may not fall out of the top 10 all of the season. So, yeah, things are looking good up there in Clemson.
Yeah, Rick, and LSU jumping up to that 3rd spot, so quite the win to start off the season for Brian Kelly. He did go on to say, though, in the interest of journalistic integrity, Brian Kelly did say after he considers Clemson a great team and that they're, on their road to possibly making another college football playoff. So it wasn't as harsh the entire time. Credit to Brian Kelly for giving Clemson some credit there as well. But, hey, Rick, we got a big Gamecocks home opener sold out there at Williams-Brice.
Yeah, hey, Gamecock Nation, they are excited because their team got off to a good start, beating Virginia Tech in Atlanta. The crowd there was tremendous for South Carolina. It seemed more like a home game. They had tremendous turnout for the Gamecock Walk. And if you're Shane Beamer, you're excited because you won a game against a Power 4 team. You had some mistakes. They've got to do something with the offensive line and tighten up the pass protection. The secondary, they were getting burned to a crisp on 50-50 balls, gave up a lot of yardage through the air, but the special teams came through, a big punt return for a touchdown to get everything going in the 4th quarter. And Lenore Sellers connecting with Nick Harbor on a deep ball, the best play in Nick Harbor's USC football career. Plus, Lenore Sellers basically put the game on ice with his running in the 4th quarter. And here's Coach Beamer talking about getting off to a nice start this season.
I'm just really proud of our guys. That was a really good first win. As I had mentioned leading into it, that wasn't an easy preparation. Getting ready for Virginia Tech, just first game, wild environment, neutral site, new coordinators, new personnel on both sides. It was a lot, and I thought our guys handled it well. Great start to the game, really good finish, some good in between, not enough of it, but when there was adversity, when a lot of teams could have gotten frustrated, our guys didn't faze them at all. They never flinched, they never blinked, had great poise, played really physical. That was a physical football game on both sides.
So South Carolina 1-0. Next up, South Carolina State, 7 p.m. That game is already sold out. And during the press conference today, Shane was very complimentary about SC State head coach Chennis Berry. They got off to a good start, a 1-point win over Wofford. Carmine.
Yeah, Rick, I'm really interested, and I'll ask Kevin this. There's so much pageantry, so much emotional deal surrounding, of course, Shane Beamer coaching against his alma mater, celebrating with his dad, Frank Beamer, who won 8 conference championships, head coaching Virginia Tech. With Shane Beamer had the leather helmet on his head, and all the Gatorade shower, and Lenora Sellers giving Frank Beamer the game ball afterwards, which was awesome. But Kevin, do you think this could be a trap game for the Gamecocks coming off such an emotional high, and now SC State? No? Okay, you're confident.
No.
Why not?
No. Absolutely not. Not even going to let you finish this, Carmine.
Why not?
There's no chance this is a trap game. There's no chance. South Carolina is immensely better than South Carolina State. They could start their backups and beat South Carolina State. This isn't even a question. One thing I did want to bring up, though, the odds were released this morning for the first Power 4 coach to be fired this season during the year. Brent Pryor, Virginia Tech, is now the favorite at 5-1 after that South Carolina win over the weekend. The really interesting part, though, Dabo Sweeney, who before this season was 128-1, so his odds were way, way down, or 150-1, I should say. His odds after that game, losing to LSU, 28-1. So I don't know if it's an overreaction by the betting community or if somebody knows something, but Dabo might be in trouble, but that is a crazy movement in just one game.
Kevin, that might be equally as ridiculous as the claim that I made that SC State might be a trap game for the Gamecocks because, you lose a top 10 matchup. It's not like he lost to Appalachian State, no offense to them. But, Rick, what do you think there about the potential
Shots fired
of Dabo?
at App State.
Let's be honest. If they upset something like the Michigan game, that's a big wow moment. But, Rick, what do you think there on that?
Talk about an overreaction. They lost to a top 10 team. It was close. And the Clemson very well could wind up in the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, but Dabo's safe. Trust me. All right, that's going to wrap up the opening segment of Palmetto Sports Daily. We'll be right back after a quick timeout.
Welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily. There was only one college football game in the country being played last night, and it was a big one up in Chapel Hill, the debut of Bill Belichick as the head coach at North Carolina, as the Tar Heels played host to TCU. All kinds of celebrities on the sidelines and in the boxes for this one. That includes Michael Jordan, Mia Hamm, Randy Moss was there. And I don't know about them, but after that first drive from North Carolina, I was sold on everything Bill Belichick is doing up in Chapel Hill. It looks like he's building a winner right there. I don't know what happened after that. I went to sleep. I'm just going to assume that North Carolina would go on to win this one easily after that dominant first drive. Carmine, your thoughts on what happened in North Carolina last night?
What an omission of justice. Unbelievable. Well, Kevin, since you were taking a nap after the first drive for Chapel Bill, I will hate to inform you, with you being such a big New England Patriots fan, that it didn't go Chapel Bill's way, and everything started rolling down the Chapel Hill for North Carolina because they ended up losing 48-14 to TCU. Bright spot though, hey, good backup quarterback for North Carolina. He looked pretty good after breaking his leg and almost not even being able to walk again and maybe getting his leg amputated. He came in and looks good, so maybe he'll be the starter next week. But, it was pretty sad because the hype with everybody being there, Lawrence Taylor and Roy Williams to add to your list, Kevin, as well. Goats of their sport attending this game. And after the first drive, it just looked terrible. So, Rick, what do you think about how should we feel about North Carolina going forward? I thought it was kind of sad that this was all built up. First drive looked great, and then they lose by 34 points.
Hey, not sad for me. My goodness. Bill Belichick, he's probably thinking, man, I could have stayed retired, been on the beach, not putting myself through this. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor. He should have asked him to come down in that second half and suit up because that defense, I tweeted last night, I've seen flag football teams more physical than that defense last night. I mean, it's like they were afraid to touch people. It was awful. And then your starting quarterback, they went through for more than a 2-hour period, did not complete a pass. Now think about that. More than 2 hours, and they didn't complete a pass. That's
Completing a pass is hard.
thorough, total futility. Awesome.
Come on, hey
Awful.
Kevin, are you a Bill believer still? Kevin, do you believe in Bill's ability there?
So we've got the greatest coach in the history of organized football, and we're just going to say after one game he's lost it, and this is all going to go terribly. Come on, guys. He lost his first game with the Patriots, and I think that ended up working out pretty well as well. So let's just pump the brakes here. Rome wasn't built in a day, however the saying goes. I think North Carolina is going to be just fine.
Okay,
Is he
didn't
more on
give
the
up
hot seat,
48
Kevin,
points
than
in that
Dabo?
first game with the Patriots either.
Yeah.
He gave up like
And he
30
had a
something
better
points in
roster
that
to
first
work
game.
with.
I'm not worried. I don't know if you saw that roster back then, Rick. It wasn't that much better.
Oh, hey, I think it's going to be
All right,
a
we've got more here.
long season. Hey, and
All right, we've
Hey,
got
you know
more
what he
coming up on
needs?
Palmetto Sports Daily.
he needs some engagement news.
What?
That's
What
what
does
he
he need?
needs. A distraction.
He was wearing a ring last night. He and Jordan were wearing rings last night. We'll be back after this.
And welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily. We've been talking football. Right now, we're going to talk racing. The Southern 500 at Darlington. Chase Briscoe wins his second consecutive Southern 500. Now, that is really impressive for folks who follow racing and for folks who do not follow racing. To win the Southern 500 2 years in a row, it's only been done 8 times, and the last time was like nearly 20 years ago because they called Darlington the track too tough to tame, and it is the most difficult track on the circuit to drive. And when you win at Darlington, I like to say, hey, you're proving yourself that you can win on any type track under any conditions. So a tip of the cap to Chase Briscoe. First race of the playoffs, he advances to round 2. So great job by him. Kevin?
Yeah, and you mentioned it hasn't been done in almost 20 years. You look at the names of some of the guys who have gone back-to-back in Darlington. You're talking about Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, David Pearson, Bobby Allison. These are some of the biggest names in NASCAR, so he really etches his name up there. And this wasn't just a win. This is pretty close to a domination on Darlington. Led 309 of the 367 laps over the course of Sunday to get that win. Briscoe talking after the race about what it meant.
You know, when you can win at Darlington, the amount of respect in the garage just goes way up. You know, this is one of the hardest tracks we go to all year long. So to be able to win here goes a long way. Confidence-wise, definitely goes a long way. So yeah, just a great night to be able to start our playoffs like this and to be able to do it's pretty dang cool.
So, hey guys, I'm interested. Rick, I know you say it's the track too tough to tame, but why do you think Chase Briscoe's been able to tame it 2 times in a row?
He says he really looks forward to it, and you have to realize that Darlington is a track where you have to take your time, you have to be patient, but he had such a dominant car, all he had to do was keep it off the wall. I've seen great drivers like Dale Earnhardt Sr. He hit the wall one year at Darlington, and you go, okay, there goes his chances for winning, but he was able to come back and win the race. The same thing with Kel Yarbrough, who won the Southern 500 5 times. We're talking Hall of Fame racers. So Chase Briscoe, again, he showed me a lot by winning the Southern 500 2 years in a row. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily. We wrap things up today with some soccer news. And while we were talking about North Carolina's big loss last night on the football field, they suffered another one on the soccer pitch as well, right here in the Low Country, as the College of Charleston pulling off a huge upset last night, beating the 15th ranked team in the country in North Carolina, beating them by the score of 2-0. Matt Leonard and Pavel Dashin each scoring a goal for the College of Charleston last night, as CFC picks up their first victory of the season. They moved to 1-3 on the year and give the Tar Heels their first loss of the season as they drop to 3-1. So really can't think of a worse way for things to have gone for North Carolina on Monday, Carmine.
Yeah, good point. And also, Kevin, with some big soccer news, 20th ranked Furman played number 8 Duke to a 1-1 draw on the same day that Clint Dempsey's jersey was retired, the USA soccer legend. Let's hear from Clint about that big moment.
I was with my wife the other day as we drove through the front gates, and I remember the first time that I went through the front gates with my parents and taking a picture in front of the water fountain and not knowing how things were going to work out for you, and then to had the experience that I had at this university to then go and play professionally and represent my country in 3 World Cups, and to be honored with, in Doug Allison's last year to retire the jersey that I wore. I mean, when I talk about some of the special things I was able to accomplish in my career, that would be towards the top. So I'm forever grateful for that.
And really cool for Clint Dempsey there to shout out Doug Allison, who's completing his 34th and final season coaching Furman men's soccer. So was Clint's coach as well, and then that World Cup success for Clint Dempsey. Well, we just completed another successful Palmetto Sports Daily. For Rick and Kevin, I'm Carmine. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.